I don't have anything planned. It's been a very eventful week of all the marketing things that I've been reading and listening to is all about how to get ready and the trying to save people from the trauma of knowing that right now between October the 1st and October the 15th, which has already passed. Anyway, this October is the most volatile, I guess is the best word to use, the volatile time for your mailing list. So you will have the most people subscribing, but you will have also the most people unsubscribing. So what the marketing people are trying to say is don't take it personally, but use this as a good time because you'll get rid of the people who really don't want to be on your list. But you will also be adding people who have either just discovered you, are considering you for a purchase, or they've heard about you or something like that. So it's the volatility that makes people feel very like, oh, why should I do a newsletter? Especially for authors, because I think that authors are like, I was reading on somebody was saying when some author was posting on Facebook now that I'm back on Facebook, is that they can't understand why their fellow authors say, I never buy a book off of social media, which is, bullshit. And the other one is that I don't think that newsletters for authors are effective. I don't think that they sell books. Also bullshit, because in today's world, how else do you tell people that you've got a book?
I
How
think
else do you?
I think it's the best way right now because it's the most qualified list you have.
This is true. This is very, very true. And I'm seeing a big shift because okay, I was suspended from Facebook because there's some wonderful AI people out there, I don't know where they're from, who are using my name in vain. And so when I complained to Facebook, they got rid of me and not them. Why?
Um,
Who knows? Okay, so anyway, that's all right. We're over that hump now. It was 3 weeks of like what? But anyway, um, but what I found is that there's this migration because I think what's ever happening in the United States right now and in the whole world really, because of the consolidation of and the change of ownership of social media platforms and what who's on the platforms, and there's this I think there's a big shift that's happening, just like there was a shift when we went from like when Twitter came and left MySpace. I can remember MySpace, guys. I am that old. So what I see is that because of the shift in TikTok, I think that it's going to um because of whoever puts it together and whatever happens behind the scenes. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on there. I don't think that for books and stuff, it's going to be as prominent as it had been.
I
And so
agree.
what I'm seeing is that the reels that were doing really good, the videos that were doing really good are showing up on your Instagram feed and in your Facebook feed. Have you guys been noticing that as well? And I think that they're getting a different kind of an attention than they got when they were playing on TikTok because it is truly a different demographic that's looking at Instagram, that's looking at Facebook than that looked at TikTok. And I think that TikTok will be a more international flavor because, it's still owned by the Chinese government around the rest of the world. And even though the biggest number and whole numbers of people who are on it are, the citizens of the United States, there's a whole bunch that I see also that are like from Latin America and from the Middle East and the Far East, mostly the Far East, Chinese, Philippines, Indians, things like that. And I think that if that's your market, then good. You could stick on with TikTok. But they're also TikTok is also cracking down on place of origin of where they're putting it, of where they're originating the reels. Okay, does that make sense? Because what had happened, what was successful before? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but just little history lessons. What was successful before is that people would hire, like especially authors would hire a bunch of people to post their their videos. So they would get hundreds of videos out there. But they had to originate in the United States because the market is location based. So they would only show it, TikTok would only show it to people who had US ISPs. So what would happen is that they would use those VPNs and try to mimic that they were all in different parts of the United States. Well, technology is really, really good about this, and they caught up with all that, and now they can tell if you're using the same IP, even if you're using a different VPN. And so they're cutting it down. So reels and videos that used to get like a couple of thousand are now like locked at 200. And you can hear people complaining about it and they don't know why. Well, that's really why, is the technology behind it. These people are smart and they control it and they can decide how it's shown and not shown. So bottom line here is that I think that videos are extremely effective. The numbers that came out this week were that there was a big report that was done that consumers are looking at 47% of the social media that they consume is video. And so video is reels. It could be short, it could almost be like an animated carousel if you're thinking Instagram. But what it is that you want to see action, and it's very addictive. And so that is, if you're going to develop some skills in that or effort or put marketing in there, you should consider having some part of it to be a video based thing. And it's really not hard because all of your, Canva and everybody else can do videos and stuff for you. AI will do a video for you. And they're getting faster and better. And so, you can put stuff out there. And so that's that was the recap. Oh, and then the other one, which I know you all love, which in other words you're going to hate, is that the number of times that you have to send an email out per month to be able to be captured by Google and Apple email programs so that they'll put you in the inbox is 5 times in 30 days. So that's either like weekly, or if you're running an automation, you could say, I send out a newsletter every week on a certain day, and then I have automation running in the background for the new subscribers or for the unsubscribers or whatever. So I just thought, oh, I didn't mention that. And also they're finding the times. There is no good time anymore that is standard. It used to be 10 o'clock on Tuesday. Now people open their emails early in the morning, late at night, middle of the day. And even people who really, really track it can't find who their own big buyers are the best time to open it. And this is going for business as well as consumers, because our readers are consumers. So, and I find that that's true. I find that I myself sometimes am going on my phone or looking at my email at different times because I'm just like, life is chaotic. And when it's chaotic, you just can't do it. So the best suggestion is that for your 5 emails a month, what you should do is actually create a couple of patterns. Do like one on a weekend, early morning, one on a weekend, late evening, middle of the day, middle of the week, and late at night. And I thought, so I've been trying it, and by God, excuse me, but my open rates went up again. And see, for open rates, open rates and click rates are like, they're not gospel. They're not like, oh, I can take this to the bank, but it shows me trends. So if I see that even my open rate is like inching up by 2 points, I go, oh, that whatever I just did was effective, because for some reason right now in the world, my audience is paying attention and clicking on it, or the Apple and Gmail is doing it, one or the other.
I would
Either
love
one.
to, I would love to send more emails, but I am afraid I am going to bore my audience to death because, and that's what I struggle with. What the content, even if I have a set schedule of things I talk about, I'll stick with it, but it's coming up with that content that people just don't go, oh, Mary, that's so boring.
Well, I think that if you look at it as of taking your content and making it in smaller bits, because everybody's attention, they're not going to read very much. And if you just say, okay, you know what, I'm going to have 2 paragraphs and 100 words, and that's going to be the max for this email, then you can actually take things and chunk it down. I have found that over the year, I have been sending out newsletters since in the 90s. Even I started sending out newsletters when I worked for American Airlines, way back when we had Netscape, which was like, you know, I'm prehistoric. I'm a dinosaur. And I learned, so I've seen many different trends and things, but the true honest thing is the shorter it is, the easier it is, the more people read it and the more white space you put on it. And you should do a variety of put pictures in and no pictures. Just send a text like it's letter. Uh, and that's really effective because there's stuff going on, subconsciously that we're not aware of as we see pictures in it. Sometimes they download, sometimes they don't download, depends on your email provider and what you're looking on and what device you're using. But sometimes if you don't want distractions, and sometimes just the form that the words are is really attention grabbing. And accept the fact that not everybody is going to open every email that you send. And again, subject lines are super, super important because even if they don't open it, even if they're just going through and they see it's from your name, always make sure that your name is on there as the from person and the subject line. So that even sinks in a little bit that they're getting it. And even if they go and delete it, it's fine because they still are getting something from you.
Okay.
It is a hard thing, Mary. It feels so personal, right? It feels so
Oh,
personal. You're like, I don't want to bother people. As women, we don't want to bother people. But people, just as you should think of yourself as sometimes you want to be bothered. Sometimes you feel lonely. Sometimes you feel like you want a little bit more information. Sometimes you want to get away from where you are. Who are we to judge that we are not that thing that's going to help somebody else? We shouldn't be judging like that. We should be putting out as much as we can. We should be creative. We should be positive. We are trying to create a better world in the books for readers. It's the books that we read that help us escape from reality. For the writers, it's creating the wonderful worlds that readers can get lost in.
do you have an idea of subjects that resonate with reader, like newsletter readers, like a day in the life, which is incredibly boring, or just some recipes? Is there, but that doesn't necessarily fit with the brand. Just
I don't know. Okay. I don't think that there's humans are multifaceted and there's not just like one thing that you can hone in on and it will always deliver. I think that if you okay, so like a typical author email that that I see newsletters I see, they have some kind of like news of the day, we'll call it. Then they might have a recipe. Then they might have a book that they're reading or somebody they're sharing. Then they might have their pet or their hobby. Okay, so those are like 5 different things. So it's could be 5 different emails. If you and then you can help. Okay, so the person who likes to cook, okay, I don't like to cook. I'm a person and I don't like to cook, but I am entranced by cooking videos and cooking recipes that are beautifully shot. I am never going to make it. I might try to go to a restaurant or you know, uh, um, I might go try buying it. I might talk about it, but I'll think about it and I'll open it. And I have watched videos over and over again of street cooking in Thailand, which I don't even want to eat that food, but it looks so fascinating. So what is the fascination is what I'm trying to say, Mary. I don't know. I
okay.
don't know.
Okay,
But
I'll just,
it is fascinating. And the thing is that it's coming from you. What you're doing is that you're just developing that part of marketing is developing the relationship. It's not actually trying to sell anything. It's just trying to establish that you are a real, authentic, real person who has that skill of like cooking or something like that.
okay. I've heard somebody say if you could also somehow loop it around to say writing in a small way. Like I took up knitting and this is my first draft of the hat and it's not going anywhere but the garbage. But I thought about that when I finished the first draft of the hat. But if I could, and same with recipes, or if I could just, I always feel like if I could just roll it gently into writing, it reminds them I'm a writer.
Okay, so like for example, the JD Robb cookbook just came out.
It's not,
Did you know about that? All right.
yeah, it's not.
And that was a big topic at this week's books at my two book clubs that I went to, because they thought it was what it did is that the what Nora had added, or whoever her editor was added, is for each recipe it was a little scene of one of her books where they cooked something similar to that. Because if
Oh,
you've read JD Robb, all Eve eats is spaghetti and pizza and maybe a hamburger. Okay. They've got like 60 recipes and like tiramisu's in there. I don't even remember ever eating tiramisu in any of the books, but okay. But what I'm trying to get to is that that connection made people go back and say, you know, I got the cookbook. I saw the recipe. It was really cool. And then it had the little book that it, you know, the scene that it came from. And now I have to go back and read that book again. So I mean, I think that is a marvelous idea
I think it's
is
a great
that,
idea.
yeah, take any of your characters from any of your books, because you all have backlists, any of your books, and just remember, give them a recipe, pretend that they did it, and then put a little excerpt in of them eating it or thinking about it or something like that. I mean,
Okay.
I think that would be ideal and that would work and that would tie you together as a writer and a cook,
Yeah,
especially if it's a mistake, especially if it doesn't work, because people love failure.
they love it when it doesn't work. Yeah. Um, I'm also struggling with how to drive readers to my mailing list. I thought about doing like blind date with a book, giveaway in December, because I've got a lot of backlist titles that I've got to do something with. Um, I mean, I've gotten it figured out so that the link is in my bio on Instagram. So it's just one click and you're signing up for my newsletter. But I'm looking for ideas that would on Instagram and Facebook that would say, hey, if you sign up for my newsletter, you might get this.
Um, that is the eternal problem
Right.
of trying to grow your mailing list. And sometimes giveaways work. You know, they're the most effective that you can do for a little effort. But also, I would go and ask ChatGPT, the marketing part of it, and say, look, I need some ideas for social media posts
Yeah.
to get some interest in joining my newsletter. Because it might be, you know, my cooking failures. Okay, if we're just going to stay on the cooking thing for the moment, you know, you do a little either a video or a little cartoon of a very bedazzled author trying to cook something and smoke in the background, blah 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 blah, and then just find out what happens when your third uh spaghetti disaster occurs, and that entices them to, and then the way they find out is because you're going to do a story in your newsletter, so they have to sign up to read it.
Okay. Story. People are more interested in story than stuff.
They like, that's the whole thing, is that you want to get a variety of different subscribers. So some people want stuff and some people want stories. Some people want, everybody wants entertainment. Remember, you're entertaining.
Right. That's
So what are the different aspects of entertainment that you can put out there?
okay. Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is don't just close yourself off to, well, I got to run giveaways to be able to grow my mailing list. Use every aspect of marketing that's out there. So that means in social media, don't just say, oh, join my newsletter because of you'll get a free prize or you get a free read or something like that. The free magnet thing. Those work. I'm not saying that they don't work, but I'm saying you need a variety. So you need to come up with imagine things that are that spike your own interest, and then try to translate that into something that you can do that would entice somebody to at least sign up for a little bit on your newsletter. Because once you get them on there and you're entertaining, even if it's just a bunch of mistakes all the time, or if it's the antics of your cat, or oh my gosh, there's this old grandmother who's giving cookies to a bear in her backyard. Have you guys seen this video?
I saw that.
And I keep watching it because I'm like, that has got to be AI. There's no way that old woman is standing out there with the tray with the milk on it. Okay, that was the milk. The milk is the thing, because I know it's going to spill when that big old bear is out there. And I'm just like, because it's, I mean, I don't understand why it's enticing, but she's talking to that thing. I mean, I think I played that for 5 minutes last night. It just was like rolling in the background. And I was like, there's something there that's catching my attention. And I was really trying to figure out what it was. But it's like, it's so out of, it's so out of, it's not real. It's not ordinary. And that, I would like the backstory of who came up with that, why they did it, and if they had a grandmother or a dog who chased away a bear. I'm not sure. Then I'm also, because my daughter lives in Seattle, and every year in Seattle they have the bear contest. And a couple of years, do y'all know about the bear contest? The fat bear? They actually, okay, so somebody, it's a zoo or something, they track the big bears before they go to sleep in the wintertime. And they have this contest where you bet on which either the bear is going to get the biggest or something. I'm not quite even sure why they do it. All I know is it is like a betting pool, and these people up there are really into this. This is like the third year that I've heard about the bear. And Gwen is really upset because she never wins, but her husband always picks the right bear that's going to do whatever it does, the bear does. So I hear about this, and it's just this kind of, so now I will get things in my feed and things about the bear contest in the Northwest. So is that not weird? These are weird things. We don't have bears here in Texas. We have deer, coyotes, and cougars, or wildcats, I think.
I have one last question, then I'll let everybody else say. You had talked about landing pages last time. Did you send a re-record on that or recording on that? Because I didn't see it. Because that was more technical. I needed to watch like the replay like 7 or 8 times to get that one.
Okay, I will double check, because I think I started to edit it and then I just didn't upload it. I did save it. I do have a video of it.
Yeah,
so
I just need to, even the raw
Yeah.
video is fine, because it was
Yeah.
just, I just kept thinking, I got to see this again. Because the landing page would help with that, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh. Yes.
It would help drive readers to the newsletter list, which is the goal.
Right, because what it is, okay, so the best thing about the landing page combined with the automation is that you can spread it out, because I've been testing and playing it with my own things. Like I test things and I say, well, does this work? I don't know. But I'm finding that like a 3 and 4 day sequences really work. And I'm using plain emails this time around instead of with pictures in it. And the open rates on the automation is going up. And I was like, oh, I must have hit something there. I'm still trying to discern what it is exactly that I did, but it works. So when they sign up for, okay, so my feeding of this new mail letter, or this newsletter that I'm working on, or this mailing list, is from contests. And then we're just going through all the different genres, trying to figure out which genre they really like. So I'm trying to filter. That was the objective of this, is to filter them better into give me just the cozy mystery people, give me the suspense people, you know. I'm like really trying to get down to that. I don't know why, I'm just doing it. I figure I'll use it in the future, so why not? But what I'm finding, I'm getting a lot of people opening it, but I'm also getting people respond, like sending me emails back saying, yeah, this is what I like. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like they think they're having a conversation with me because I'll get an email and go, what is this? I don't even remember sending it because I wrote this a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, life has moved on.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago was a lifetime.
It is, it is. Yeah, I'll
Thank
put
you.
the video up on my Sara Reyes channel, which I think I now have 10 subscribers. So exciting. Okay.
I'm one, and I started a channel on my YouTube, and I called it something like either good or great marketing tips. And I'm finding your videos and putting them. What's going to serve two purposes? It'll cross promote you, but also it puts them in one place where I can catch any ones that I've missed and watch later. So
Yeah, I have a private watch later where I just save a bunch of YouTube videos. Oh, which does remind me, Deborah, YouTube is really uh we should pay attention to YouTube, both the shorts, but more people are listening. I didn't realize this, but more people are listening to like their podcasts and stuff via YouTube as they did before. And so they're expecting, like now, if you do a podcast, you have to do a video version as well as a just audio version. But then the way that this is going is that authors are reading parts of their works in progress, or they're actually reading their books if they don't want to hire somebody to do the audio version of it. And readers are discovering this. Readers are searching for, give me a romantic thriller audiobook, and then they'll listen to the whole thing on YouTube because you can do it on the go and stuff now. And then the smart people, because you know there's always the smart monetary people out there, are you can, once you get to 1,000, I think it is, I'm not quite sure, so I don't know the numbers of how many subscribers you have on YouTube, then you can charge people to listen to your and watch your videos, not just the advertising money, but actually you close off the content.
A lot of them are
So
wow,
members.
yeah.
1,000. Okay.
Yeah, so that's something to keep an eye on, especially if you've got if you're doing self-publishing, or even if you're doing like stuff that's not ready for prime time, shall we say? Like if you wanted to uh act out or read out different kinds of things like that, because it's truly content, right? You're putting content out there and content is consumed and people stumble across it and like it for all different kinds of reasons. So yeah, the shorts are a short is like a reel. It's under 60 seconds, although they did say, I was listening to that, and I think that they're going to up the limit to that, but I do know you can't do a live on YouTube unless you have 1,000 followers. So that's like your goal is to get 1,000 followers.
One of the theories is the TikTok people are going to go to the YouTube shorts.
They already are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. If you're going to make a reel for Instagram, download it to your phone and then just put it on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We're putting our contest videos back up on YouTube. We had taken them off because they were there was a time where YouTube was having a fit over you can't do a giveaway in a reel in their shorts, but now they've changed their mind again. So we pulled it because I was getting nasty emails from YouTube saying you can't do that. And so I told Christine, don't put our contests up there. But now it's come back. Yeah, you can put contests, you know, watch this for a giveaway kind of thing. So that was just there.
I wonder if there is a way to take a video you had up there and somehow get it and trim it to make it into a reel, because I've already got videos where I read the first chapter of some of my books. Now it's been years since I did that. Back then they didn't really take off, so I kind of quit. But the
Yeah.
content's there if I could do something with it.
Well, of course you can. Just go. I would say from what I found out is that if you use Gemini, which is the Google artificial AI, they have I think it's called VEO, the video editor that's free with Gemini. Look it up for sure. You can upload a video and tell it, I
Okay.
need 60-minute or 50, I would say 59-second clips. And it will actually
Okay.
pick the best, like your talking points and stuff out of it.
Could you play it on your
Cool.
phone and do a screen record and then use it that way? Would that work?
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it that way. You could, if you're using an Apple phone, I would use Edit, the new Edit, which is
Okay.
much better than CapCut. Um, there's lots of video. As long as you have your hands on the video, there's lots of products out there that are free or whatever, which that'll cut them up for you.
Okay.
And go for the 59 seconds because there's always that, because there's a 60-second cutoff on Reel. If you think about it, that's the limit. So always aim for 59 because you know things slide. You don't want to put all the work in it and then say it won't load because it's 1 sec, it's 61 seconds, you know.
Right.
Oh, I want to mention this before I get real far away from newsletters, but I looked all of y'all up, and we all similar things. I would be happy to do a newsletter swap with you, and I'll put the email address in the chat. So when you email it, you'll probably hear from my VA who sets up my newsletter swaps, but I'll type it into the chat so you'll have it. I have romantic suspense and I have cowboys, and so there's a lot of things we do similar. So I wanted to get that out there real quick.
That's good. I
Thank
think
you.
that
That's
people-
great. Yeah, we do
Yeah.
have a lot of blending here, so.
Mhm.
So I have a question about, I originally was going to ask about rising above the noise in the holidays, but I started using Substack 10 months ago. And I have a PhD in public health and I was a professor and I've written lots of textbooks. And so I thought, well, I have all this knowledge and this world is crazy and I should contribute. And there were some readers, I got some subscribers. And recently I decided I didn't want to, I was running out of material because people are bored with healthcare right now. It's really crazy. There's nothing I can say to explain vaccinations correctly to everybody. No one's going to believe me. Not everybody's going to believe. I mean, it's just, I can say it's very important and I have said that and I stand by it. I'm a nurse. But, people are tired of hearing about this. However, I thought, well, Halloween's coming. So I posted a really, really old, and I mean old, short story I wrote in 2006 called The Witch's Bible. And I connected it at the end with an author's note and references about how it relates to the current issues with women's healthcare. I've gotten more hits on that and more readings of that than I have on, I mean, you get the blue line and the gray line. The blue line's this post and the gray line's this post and the blue line's like this. I'm like, And people are commenting and they're discussing. And one person said more stories, please. And I'm like, I have more stories. I have lots of short stories. And that's why when you were saying more short things, I really was resonating with that. I have some longer short stories, but I think that's the sort of thing for me, because I wrote case studies and I write the paranormal because I believe science and paranormal are interwoven. And I think that this is one way to entertain and also perhaps educate some people who might have some questions about, day-to-day midwives and what's going on now. But that's just one thing that I found that sort of like, I got very excited because this morning I hit 215 views. I'm like, holy crow, this is fantastic. I can't believe it. So for me, that's a big deal. And Substack, I know there's a few other authors that are out there. It's mostly news people. Those are the highest ratings. There's bestsellers and stuff. But I think it's an alternative to newsletters, or in addition to newsletters, because I'm not great at newsletters. I'm doing my own newsletter. My PA got a full-time job. Lost my mind. Anyway, so I'm doing that job. And so I think that if you have the bandwidth or the help to do it, you might want to consider Substack as another medium for communication with readers and potential readers.
Are you
Yeah.
repeating the content from your newsletter onto the Substack, or are they two different things?
Sorry, my dogs go nuts when they hear the doorbell, so had to mute them or else we'd all be deaf. What was your question?
Are you using the same content on your newsletter in your Substack, or is it two different things?
Two different things. It's two different things.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
on my newsletter, I'm like, hi, here's my new book, Recipe for Love, with some really disgusting recipes. And because the people who are in this book make the world's worst recipes. When you're talking about recipes, these are not recipes I want to share with my readers. These are recipes that you want to throw against the wall, ring around the tuna, that sort of thing. So, but the Substack for me is it's a totally started as a totally different stream. I targeted a totally different group, but I'm seeing now that, because I really have retired from being a professor and being in healthcare, and I did my last textbook, and I told my publisher, that's my last edition. I'm not doing anymore. I'm I'm too old to be doing this. I'm out of the field. And so the Substack was, I picked it up for that, but now it's it's malleable. You can work within Substack. The editor's very easy to use. It's similar to using Blogger. You have a lot of crossover with other people that you can follow, and you can get ideas from them for how they're promoting their work. So Kelsey Urbick, for instance, is a graphic novelist. There's a bunch of other people who do, you can follow other writers and authors on there. And there's other book promoters on there, not a lot. But I think that's an alternative that I've grown to really enjoy working with. And it reaches, I think, a different consumer group that you might want to consider. So,
Yeah. And to remember that your consumers are whole different kinds of people. They're not
yes,
all the same. They're not
not
a
a lot.
monolith that you're trying to do. And yes, the Substack is, I mean, it's limited in lots of ways because it's really more, it's migrating to people doing live videos now, as well as doing the printed version. And the audience is different. It's a very political audience. So you must be aware of that, because you'll either, and it does both sides of the political spectrum. Yeah. And I would say it's an addition, plus the fact that you don't really own it. So you've got that little nig in the background, and they're constantly begging for money. So sometimes it gets to, for me at least, it gets to the point of like, would you stop asking me for money to read this? I'm not, either I'm interested or I'm not interested. I don't want to. Every single post that you send, even if you put up like a free version, like ours are, we have two Substacks, and they're both free, but I noticed that when it's sent out to them, it's wants people to sign up. You cannot have a non-free. There's something that they do behind the scenes. They've been doing that for years, but because that's how they're trying to make money. It's the company that runs Substack. So just be aware of that.
I'm not monetizing mine. Some people have, there's some people who, authors that are really in dire circumstances that I'll support, but I agree with you. It's overwhelming. And it got to the point where initially I was like, oh, this is exciting. This is new. And I'm like, unsubscribe, unsubscribe, unsubscribe. It's a fire hose of information.
Yes.
And you probably already figured out, I'm very much on the left. And so I'm getting a fire hose of information from people that I respect, but it's still a fire hose. And so I've been really cutting back on it, which is why I think that being able to blend the storytelling with a little subtle, oh, by the way, midwives are still getting screwed over.
Yeah.
Is a way to do it, but it's not like in your face, it's at the footnote. And I do give references. I'm very academic. Even in my novels, I'll give my author's note contains everything you want to know about what I wrote, what I drew on. So, but that's just me. Not everybody does that. I know I'm not.
But you see, this is so good. And that is why you have to have, and that is why we cannot just have, Like you can't just depend on your newsletter. You can't just depend on your website. You can't just depend on one thing to do your marketing for you. You have to have a blend of all of the different, of whatever your personality is, whatever you are authentic is, it's going to spread out into the other mediums that are out there. And we live in a world now where people are being bombarded, or they'll go and they'll gravitate for a while to this kind of medium, and then they'll come and they'll gravitate to another one. So we have to, that's why you have a platform where you're kind of prepared. And I think that that's great that you're taking a really old story, because it has relevance now with the news and you can tie it together. And I think that all of you, because you all have backlists, there's something that you wrote 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last week, whatever, that now in the future will have relevance that you can go and tie into it. So as long as you can organize it and go find it again, you can use it.
I was surprised when I found out, oh, look at all these short stories I wrote way back in the day. Oh my God, these are still good. So yeah.
Huh. So whether it's videos that you recorded, like reading or talking or something like that, like in your travels or whatever, we have a plethora of content that we can use. It's just how much of our imagination that we can do it. And I'm a preacher for the AI, but sometimes you just throw it out there and say, look, I've got this, what can I do with it? And give me some ideas. I find the best thing when I can't sleep at night. I used to write little notes to myself that I couldn't read my own handwriting on in the middle of the night. Now what I do is I open my chat GPT on my phone and I'll just start talking and wake my husband up, but I'll just start talking. And then the next morning I go and it comes up with all this great ideas. And I go, oh yeah, I'm going to try that. I'll at least get something out of it.
Do
It
you,
does work.
are you subscribed to ChatGPT, or you just still, I do my 10 free ones a day or whatever it is for questions. But have you gone ahead and subscribed to it? Do you find it's worth it?
I subscribed way back at the beginning for the $20 a month.
Okay.
But I think that it's the free version. You can still you can talk to it on the phone. But
Great.
I like the extra benefit for the $20 a month, where I can close it off, where if I have ideas and stuff that I put out there, it's private. It doesn't share it. It isn't adding to the
Collective.
yeah.
Okay, that's good to
And
know.
I think that for the $20 a month, that's the only time you can turn it off, but I'm not sure. It used to be way back at the beginning. They may have changed that. Yeah, I'm finding that. And then I also figured out I've got to learn more about Gemini, because that's the Google one, the Alphabet one, because it has more privacy things in it, but then it also has a bigger, I mean, we've all been on Gmail and we've all been on Google searches and stuff for at least 20, how many years they've been around. And all of that is out there and all of that is accessible to the AI kind of thing. So it can know who you are better than trying to train Chat GPT. Does that make sense? And they're saying that in the next year, they're expecting that the Google version, which I think is called Gemini, and notebooks, there's like a couple of different ones, are going to be, right now they're at 35% of the people using it. And so,
Yeah,
that's where the knowledge is going.
Google is spending billions to get their search engines and chat or their AI up to speed.
Yeah. So that was interesting. And they're because they're training their video editing and AI abilities on YouTube. So the video that you do with Gemini is much better than what you're doing with the others that are out there, because
Okay.
they have more of material to work with. It has
Okay.
something to do with physics. The
They
physics
kind
of
of have
movement.
to keep their place, because people will say, I'll Google it. Now they're saying I'll Chat GPT it, which is big competition for Google. So they have to up their game.
That's why they did it.
They
Yeah.
did it. There, I don't Chat GPT things for look. When you look at now a search for Google, at the top, that's all AI. Everything that comes up there is AI.
Yeah.
And it is much better. We'll be honest. It is much better on a search than what the old Google is. And it's definitely better than ChatGPT. ChatGPT for a little while was doing really well, but they don't have they don't have as much search capability as Google does, because Google is
Yeah.
everywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, every website out there, whether you want it or not, has Google Analytics behind it doing searches.
And Google
So,
owns YouTube, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And the other thing that they brought up is Google is the only one that's making money.
Right.
They have sources of revenue. So, the Chat GPT, the AI, the Open AI, and all that, they're still begging for money. That's why they're venture capitalists and stuff. But the Alphabet, which is Google, is, you know, they got cash coming in. They got the money to do this.
They've had deep pockets for a long time.
Yeah.
I have
So
one more
you've
question.
got me thinking about this discussion. It's got me thinking about repurposing things we have, such as the so with short stories like Sharon, and with the videos with reading first chapters, if we were to have those things still out there, we probably need to go in there and put some sort of SEO tag words in there, because right now they're invisible. They're too old. People aren't finding them.
Yeah, and tag and SEO
That's
changes
why.
depending on what's going on. Again, all you need to do, okay, so Deborah, once you put the content together, you just upload it into whichever your AI is, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, those are the two main ones, even Copilot, and just say, give me the SEO tags that I should be using. And then you also say, write a good subject line. Give me, I always say several because I want 7. Give me several subject lines for this or headlines for this that include SEO tags. And voila, it will do it for you.
That's a good.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
I have a question about conferences. Do you have any ideas for what's coming up? I mean, I'm always looking around, poking around, but I figure you see more than I do in 2020.
Oh, that is an interesting thing, because you know I do coaching to certain authors all the time as well, and I have been coaching a couple of them, and that they really need to get out to go back to writing conferences. We've had the pandemic, life has changed, we're in a new world, blah blah blah. This is like a lot of blah 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 there. Well, she went to New York. She was invited to an event in New York for her publisher that was celebrating the 5th anniversary. Did not want to go, but I told her that she should go. I mean, I didn't tell her. I coached her in that you should go. You should get out. You know, it's not just meeting readers. You have to also you have to network with your industry. And she went and ended up getting a 4-book contract because they were just networking, walking the streets of New York from one part of the event to the other part of the event. And it was kind of, to me, like, we need to have the in-person social interaction. So I've started to look at, long story is, I've started to look at what are the writing conferences out there, because I need, for me, as a business person, to go out and meet more writers as well. So I've been looking at that. Now, I think that, okay, so of course, Thriller Fest is really good. If we're going to do the mystery ones, we have the Thriller Fest, we have the BosherCon. There's there was one.
There's Crime Bake.
There's Crime Bake. There's one in San Francisco, and I just forgot what the name of it was.
That Left Coast.
There's Left Coast, but there's also one that's just San Francisco. It was Passages, maybe. It was out of a bookstore originally, and then it combined with some university. I'm trying to think. And they're coming back again. They had like sort of died off during the pandemic, but it's coming back. So that's kind of the mystery ones that I'm aware of. I think that they're trying to do one more in the middle of the country, but that's kind of, I'm not getting good vibes out of that.
Can I suggest? Sorry.
What is it?
I was going to suggest a conference that's in Columbia, Maryland. It's called Creatures, Crimes, and Creativity. Are you familiar with that one? They let me in because I write paranormal, romantic, suspense, weird stuff. And it's an amazing conference. You can go to their website. It's just creaturescrimesandcreativity.com. And it's run by a publisher and his wife, and they have a very small volunteer staff. And every year it gets bigger and bigger. And he had Tim Straw there last. He was on the panel with me. I moderated with Jeffrey Deaver. I'm just agog at the quality of the people that he's always able to bring in. And even during, the times when people weren't going, he was bringing him in on video. So Austin and Denise Camacho, and it's a very reasonable for around $300. You can stay at the hotel and go to the conference, and the food's included. So I sponsor a scholarship for developing authors with this conference, just a full disclosure. So that's why it's sort of a place in my heart. It's a very lovely conference. So I'll shut up now.
No, you don't have to shut up. That's the whole point of sharing. No, that would be good for Mary because she's down in Virginia/North Carolina.
North Carolina, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, that's that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put a link in the chat.
Yeah. There's Killer Nashville. That's more writer. That's August. So for the romance thing, I think that Jane Porter is really trying to build up RWA again. I don't know how that's got. I mean, I'm getting sponsorship requests, but I don't know how it's going.
Do they have a location picked for 2026?
I thought that they did.
Yeah,
Leah knows.
it's San Antonio.
San Antonio? Okay.
Oh, wait, no, it's Santa Fe. New Mexico.
Oh, it's even better.
No, it's Albuquerque.
Oh, it's close. Okay.
She has no idea.
so
You'll
sorry.
have to go look it up. It's somewhere out there with an S name.
Yeah, it's in New Mexico. I know that for a fact. I'm
Never
sorry. It's
super hot in
how my
July.
brain works.
Never super hot in July. That's where they're going to be.
Yeah. I do know that.
Yeah.
Is the RT book lovers a thing again, or did it fizzle after Catherine Falk left?
That is just okay. Well, I was talking about that one this week. She's not going to do any writing stuff on it. She's swinging into being just a reader thing.
Okay.
So if you want to go to a read, there are a lot of reader things out there, but I will say be very careful about the reader events because there's too many people who don't understand the dynamics of running events and how expensive they are and how much skills you've got to have and how much back money you've got to have to be able to do that. So there's been apparently 5 in the last year that have just fizzled, that took the money from both authors and readers and were very disappointing. So
Yeah, I find the readers conferences, it's nice to meet the readers, but you don't see as many editors or agents. And it's like a lot of writers and a few, it's just, I haven't found them to be the most effective for marketing.
Well, I think they're good for marketing. They're just not good for professional development.
Right.
It's not good. It's not helping you with your business networking kind of thing, because you need that. Not that that's where we were going with that. They're very good for, reader relationship.
Sure.
But it's also, you have to add on that layer of how are you going to, you're going to meet a whole bunch of people, right? You're going to meet a whole bunch of readers. Readers are going there with a list of who they want to see. So if they stumble on you, that is a stumbling kind of thing. When I'm saying a stumbling, it's like being awareness. What you can do once you reach a certain level is that you use those reader conferences to get your super fans together so that they have a special VIP experience in addition to the other thing. So, it serves a different purpose. But if you're looking for a writer conference where you want to develop professional relationships and stuff, I would say that a big signing is not helpful.
Yeah, sometimes I'm always looking for like the triple crown. Like I can meet readers and writers and editors, like who has it all, but I don't know if anybody does.
Yeah, that's what I miss about RT, because it used to combine all that. You could meet editors and agents, and they had a writing track. But I think a lot of that was driven by Catherine Fox's networking connections, which was fantastic what she had. I don't think anything's come since then to match that.
Well, RWA did it for, RW, and I think Thriller Fest does it as well, if you're into
Okay.
Fest is
thrillers.
coming along. They're doing better with that. It's not just because it was kind of a reader conference at first, but it's gotten to be definitely more writer track, a lot of professional people because it's in New York. It's expensive, but it can be a good one.
Yeah. And but I always keep there's one here in Dallas called DFW Con. And they're bringing in a bunch of big, editors this time and agents. But it's a genre track kind of thing. And it's just teaching. It's just teaching. It's not for readers at all. I think it just happened, or it's happening next week, something like that. But it's like the 20th year, so it's been going on for a long time.
And you're still doing yours, right?
I'm not doing one at all anymore. I'm too old for this, and
it's hard.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. You have to have support. You have to have backing to do it and things like that. But we are still doing. We have pivoted to coming out of the pandemic. We have pivoted to doing the online video book clubs. They're very, very important. Where it's a weekly thing and not just here we're going to do. It's a very standard, like every Wednesday. You have to have that consistency. But then we're also doing in person. We're doing now 3 a month, and they're all growing, which is to me kind of amazing. Not really amazing. It's a lot of work too, but it's like it hits the different times of the week when people can get together and different interests. And the social interaction in person is really super important. It's really like, each of those book clubs does different things and meets different ways, but we're finding that they're the friendships and stuff that they're growing out of there. And then they go off and they go to big signings and stuff together, and they do trips together, but they share books and they share ideas and authors and things. And it's even our smallest one that started with 3 people it's up to 8, which is like kind of the normal for a book club. Our other one is we're having a problem. Good problem to have. We have too many people. Because once you hit 20 people showing up to talk about books at the same time, you can't all hear each other, and the space is an issue and things. We take over a whole like deli now. We take over a whole deli. They have like just the 4th Tuesday of every month. They've actually like partitioned off where the regular customers have to go in the back to get their food. And we have this big section because we talk about sex, when you're talking about sex, people get really, really upset in Texas. Yeah, but they love having us in there because, they come in and the average check is $25, which, in today's world is not a bad thing.
Not bad.
So
this has been great. Thank you. It's been very helpful.
yeah.
You're not doing let me get the names right. Readers and Ritas anymore?
Yes, I'm not doing Readers and Ritas.
And the other was Diamonds. Wait, Diamonds.
No,
I'm going
no,
blank.
we did boas and tiaras for 20 years.
Okay.
Okay. And then we did Readers and Ritas for 18 years.
Okay.
And we can all blame Gwen for getting married and moving to Seattle because she was my person who did most of the work behind the scenes. And she left me. And I tried doing it without her, and it's
too hard.
It's too hard.
Yeah.
So
it's so much work to do those. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have pivoted. I'm smart enough to pivot to something that I can do, without wanting to kill people. And still, see, I am in a way a social person. I love to talk about books, and I need to have that stimulation. So, after the pandemic, we just did we just did the afternoon tea because I wouldn't give up my afternoon tea. I've been doing that for 30 some years. I love meeting and I love having tea and I love talking about books. And then it was like, well, I can't meet on Saturday. Can we meet on, blah, blah, blah night? And so we started that up again. And now I'm finding that I'm probably going to be migrating back to once a week meeting in person in a different book club in a different section of the Dallas area. And we are doing author, we've been asked again to start to do author dinners and lunches so that when authors come to town, we have a private 20 people and the author, where the price of admission includes a copy of the book. People spend, they're going to spend $75 to $100 for that because they get the meal, a nice meal. They get the intimate time that they cannot get at a book signing. They get a memory of the book and of the occasion, and that's super important. And so we are doing those again. So as authors come to town, if they want to add it on to something else that's happening, and because I live in Dallas, so if they're adding something else that's onto that, then we're going to be doing more of those. And it's just a different kind of occasion. And as readers, there's different levels of readers. The thing is about what you have to understand is you all know that more people are reading ebooks and listening to audiobooks. Those are not physical items per se. So what has become more important is that personal connection and that memory and that collector book. Like if they buy a hard copy of a book, whether it's paper or a hardcover, it's not, I'm going to read this. It's a collection. It is a memory. It is, it's something different. I've already got the ebook or I've already listened to the audiobook. I don't need to purchase that again. What I am purchasing now is an experience. So I think that for the next 5 or 6 or 10 years, that experiences are going to be super, super important. And people should put that as part of your platform.
So the rise of these special editions ties into that as well, with the edges that are colored and the pretty covers with the gold and the silver.
Yeah.
They're collectibles.
They're collectibles. And you're not going to buy as many of them as you would consume.
Yeah.
Like ebooks and stuff. Because and the numbers, I just did another research thing and I know I'm going over.
I'm sorry, I gotta walk the dog. I gotta go. But thank you. Bye.
Bye. But the thing is that the readers are buying more books because they're buying more ebooks and they're listening more to audiobooks. And as the prices come, in certain ways, the prices are coming down, in certain ways they're going up, but there's more accessibility with the indie authors for both audiobooks as well as ebooks, where they're getting more and they're consuming them faster. I find it really interesting that people who listen to audiobooks don't listen to them on 1 speed. They listen to them on 1.5 and 2 speed, which I think is like a chipmunk, but okay.
I could never do that fast.
I'm like, all right. But they are integrating it into their life. And so that is your consumer. So you have to know what are they buying and how are they buying it? And how can you reach them and build a relationship with it? So this was helpful. This is a good kind of thing where you get to just ask questions.
This has been good.
Hey,
Leah, you didn't get a chance.
I know you're about out of time, but and maybe you and I can talk privately if everybody else needs to go. But I just found out last night that when my movie is going to be.
Ooh.
It's going to be on Lifetime December 13th at 10 p.m. I'm assuming that's Eastern time, but I don't know. But I don't know how to market it. I don't know how to.
Oh, well, you definitely have to have
I don't know what to do with that information.
Well, first of all, you have to tell the whole world about it.
Yes.
Then you have to get any stills that you can get from it, and they will share them with you. Ask for I think that you ask for the publicity stills that they did from the movie, because they always do that for their own marketing. Ask if you could share them. Create a watch party. Get some of your friends to get together to do a watch party.
You mean what, to watch it live? Like
To
at
watch
10
it
p.m.?
live at
I
at
have to find
everybody's
people who
house and
stay up
stuff.
that late.
Well, it's going to be 10 o'clock. Okay, if it's on Lifetime, that
Yeah.
is 10 o'clock Eastern. That's 9
So
o'clock Central. Pacific would be 3 hours before 10. So that's like what, 7 o'clock at night?
yeah, 7.
Yeah, that's not bad. And the thing is that what you're trying to do is get that glamour of having a
Right.
movie where everybody gets to share it. So you could do a contest for do your red carpet. People could pretend they dress up for a red carpet event. Like if you were going to uh, this premiere, what would you be wearing? You know, these are just different ideas because it's like, it's a big thing that's
Yeah.
out of the ordinary. So you want to touch on all the different pieces of it. And then if you can find some of the things that some of the actors that are in it have also been in it, then go and follow them and say, I'm so excited follow them on social media and integrate them, touch on them in your social media. And if you even
Okay.
and actors are just like authors. They're very, very sensitive about life and think everybody hates them. I learned this for you. So if you try to touch with them and maybe do an interview or something with the actor on something else, whether or not it's your I mean, I don't know when they filmed it or whatever, because they could forget, just but they like to be involved in stuff too.
Okay.
Those are just off the top of my head things I
Leah,
can
what's
think
the
of.
name of the movie?
Well, the book was titled Catching a Christmas Cowboy, but they changed it to Rodeo Christmas Romance.
Okay.
Ooh.
And from what I can tell from just the little synopsis thing, they changed it a lot. But I mean, that's what they get to do, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, as long as they have your name somewhere
Yes.
with it, that's all that's
They-
important.
on the poster, on where the production, what their little fake poster thing, it says right on the bottom of it, based on Catching a Christmas Cowboy by Leah Vale. So
Yeah.
I'm right there on the poster. So
Yeah.
Excellent. When you were
which
talking about the red carpet, Sarah, I one time went to an anniversary at a restaurant downtown, and what they did is they had a screen where you came dressed up like in, the Art Deco era. So I went in a mink coat with a hat and all this other stuff. And then we stood in front of the screen and they took pictures of us on the red carpet. So you might want to have people come in cowboy costumes and stand
Yeah.
in front of the screen and do pictures of them. That would increase the excitement for your watch party. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
Leah, to coordinate on what I'd said earlier about newsletter swaps. So
Yes.
mine goes out the first Tuesday of the month, so that's December 2nd. Now, my VA, she's a volunteer, works part-time. So if you can get her the info before Thanksgiving, when she'll
Okay.
do family stuff, and I would say let's promote both because they're connected. So you can
Yeah.
promote your book as the book swap and then also put something together about, graphic something that we can share with my readers, and we'll put it all together, and I'll tell her to save you that December 2nd spot.
Oh,
So
thank
that
you.
And
that'll
put
be
me
done.
down for the same thing. We'll hit different audiences.
yeah.
We can help each
Be a
other.
SWAT team. Here we go.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I everybody's like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do? And I just stand there and go,
Let us help you.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's the
Yeah.
whole networking thing.
Yeah. And definitely write up a blog post for Miranda for Fresh Fiction.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
So
Okay.
definitely put that on there. And we'll do an e-blast for you, Leah. So all the information.
Yeah. It's
Okay. All right. Well, I'm
yeah.
willing to do these every 2 weeks on Fridays if that works for everybody.
Yes.
Either I'll have something that people would like to have more information about. We did them share a screen with Meg last time of trying to see where the different parts are on your mailer light and things like that. I'm open to that as well. I'm here for you. whatever it is that you need and the things that I stumble across. I am constantly learning new things of marketing and what's the hot buttons right now, what's working and not working. So I just do like to share that as well. So I am a resource is what I'm trying to say.
Thank
Use me
you.
as you will.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know, when I first saw this, I thought, oh, there's going to be like hundreds of people in this, and there's just going to be these little tiny boxes, and we're just going to be sitting there. And I'm like, oh, there's just us.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a big name author, so I was really kind of, you know, taken aback. But this is lovely.
No,
Everybody's been wonderful.
It is limited to only fresh fiction authors that pay me.
Oh, well,
I
good.
have
Well,
I have not. I mean, I'll just be honest with you because I was like, I didn't want to open it up to, I don't feel like I do good webinars. And so I didn't want to open it up and like have a sales thing. Instead, it was just like, hey, I just like to talk about marketing.
wow.
And people ask me on the side, and I was like, well, wait a minute. If there's one person doing it, maybe there's two people, maybe there's three people, and then I can do that. That makes me feel
Right.
comfortable. And then it also gives me things to go and look at and sharpen my own skills again. So it's
Well,
really
I
good.
really appreciate this. Thank you very much for doing it. I really do.
You're
These
welcome.
help more than I can even say. They really are helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So in 2 weeks, we will be back here. And if you guys come up with something that you want to do and or need me to go over again, let me know. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.